Good afternoon, everybody. Melissa is going to be facilitating today, but I don't think she is on yet. So we'll just wait another moment for her. And if she doesn't jump on, oh, there's Melissa coming on now.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, Zoom was being very weird for me, but we'll get started in just a minute. We'll wait for a few more people to jump in, maybe in like 3 minutes. Thank you all for calling in and being here. Today I'll wear a mask and be festive masked in my office. Okay, since we're at 12:04 and there's 25 of us participating, I think we should just go ahead and get started. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Melissa. I'm the general manager of the Ivy Food Co-op. I'm one of the regular facilitators of the Ivcn. We'd love to start this meeting with a land acknowledgement. Even though we're not meeting in person, we are still on Chumash land. And so I'll read our usual acknowledgement, and I'm always happy to share the resource with anybody if you'd like after. We would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Chumash people and pay our respects to the elders both past and present. We honor the traditional territory as well as the story and contributions of the Chumash people to the land upon which we gather and create. Thank you guys for coming and attending. And so we always start with introductions. These are ideally short intros, like a minute or less if you can. We generally have time later in the agenda for more rich conversations. Again, if you're not on the email list and you want to be added, you can email ilavistacommunitynetwork@gmail.com. And I will use the participant panel to go down the chat now, not the chat, to go down introductions. Sorry, you guys, I'm having a hectic morning. We'll start with Jonathan.
Hey, everybody. It's Jonathan with the Ivy Community Services District. Not feeling well today, so I'm taking a little break, but I'm on, listening in.
Thanks for calling in, Jonathan. Hopefully you feel better soon. How about Alex?
Hi, Alex Young. I'm with Ivcn. Don't have any announcements or anything, just here to listen.
Anamaya. Anna, if you can hear me and you want to do an introduction, we're on to you. I'll assume that she is busy doing Epic Family Resource Center things, so we will come back to Anna and let's move along to Ash.
Hi, I'm Ash, they, them. I have 3 quick announcements that come to mind. Eco Vista has a General Assembly meeting tomorrow at noon. that you're all welcome to come to. And our food forest is looking great. The partnership of EcoVista and RPD. It's at Estero Park. It has 6 new fruit trees, 2 avocados, 2 plums, 2 citrus. The avocados probably won't fruit for a few years, but the citruses probably will soon. Another announcement is Food Not Bombs is having a fundraiser through Gauchos for Transparency, designed some masks. And if you buy them, the proceeds go to Food Not Bombs. I can drop the link for that in a little bit. And lastly, there's an RPD meeting tonight at 5:30. On the agenda, we have to discuss Measure O funds, how the community wants to spend them. Thank you.
Thanks, Ash. Those were great announcements. And yeah, anything that you want to drop in the chat, I think would be appreciated. I also apologize because I was supposed to send out the link for the master plan meeting last night and I forgot to send it with the update. So Jonathan, I'm sorry about that. I realized later, but maybe that's something we can circle back around in the CSD update. Okay, moving on from Ash to Deborah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Deborah Anderson. I'm the Assistant General Manager at the Isla Vista Community Services District.
Awesome. And how about Diana?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Diana Collins-Puente. I serve as the Director of Community Affairs, Student Development, and Leadership for Associated Students at UCSB.
Diana. And Elijah.
Hey everyone, nice to see you all. Elijah with Cookies Cannabis Community Engagement.
And how about Gina?
Hi, I'm Gina. I work for 3rd District County Supervisor Joan Hartman.
Thanks, Gina. How about Haley?
Hi, I'm here with Coastal Dispensary, just here to listen.
Thanks for calling in, Haley. How about Jackie?
Hi, everybody. Jackie Curta, UCSB Alcohol and Drug Program, part of Student Health.
Jackie. And next up is Jay.
Jay Freeman on the boards of the Isla Vista Community Services District and the Local Agency Formation Commission. I'm representing neither of them here today. I'm in my own personal capacity.
Thanks, Jay. And how about Jeff?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff Hawley, professor of anthropology at UCSB and working with students right now on a project about COVID and IV, and just really trying to do projects that are relevant to different entities and organizations in the community. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Melissa, for facilitating this great meeting. And if any of you want to get in touch with me, just feel free to write in the chat because I'm eager to, the students are eager to collaborate and do research that's relevant and useful. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. It's pretty cool that we have an anthropologist and IV working on this. I think if y'all have been with me in these meetings, we've talked a lot about having more social scientists doing fun work in IV, including anthro and soc. I have an anthro degree from UCSB, so extra sweet spot in my heart for this. It's very exciting. Thank you, Jeff. How about Joan?
Joan Hartman, 3rd District Supervisor. We have our report coming up.
Thanks, Joan. And out of order, Kat, you're next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kat. I am a student of John Foreign in the EcoVista class, and I'm just here to listen.
Thanks for calling, Kat. And Katerina.
Oh, nice. I'm Kathleen.
You're Kathleen, and then Katerina is after you, actually. But
oh, sorry.
No, you're good. It's great. 2 cats in a row, almost spelled the same. It's fun.
And they call me Kat sometimes too. So nice to meet you, Kat.
Nice to meet you too.
My name is Catarina Zamora. I work with the Behavioral Wellness County of Santa Barbara, Alcohol and Drug Program Prevention. Thank you.
And how about Kim?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Equinoa, and I'm with the Dean of Students Office at UCSB.
And Kirsten.
Hi, Kirsten Deschler. I'm Director of Government Relations at UC Santa Barbara, and I'm also on the Isla Vista Community Services District as the Chancellor's representative.
Yay. It's a great meeting. Leia Aloha.
Hi, I'm Leiloha. I represent the pharmacy in Santa Barbara. I'm here to listen, here to learn, help where I can.
Awesome. Thanks for calling in. How about Lisa?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Osborne, News and Public Affairs Director at KCSB.
And Lori.
Hi, everyone. Lori Goodman, I Live as the Youth Projects. I don't know if Anna is still tuned in, but we are doing food distribution next Thursday. We're also distributing diapers with food distribution. And to get food, you need to make an appointment with Anna Maya. Thanks.
Which is why I think maybe she's there, but probably busy. It's probably one of the hardest working women, her and Asusana. And
Hi,
you're
I'm
there,
Melissa.
Anna, you're there. Ooh, why don't you do your
Yeah.
intro now? We've got you.
I'm driving because my kids got out of school at 12, so I'm driving at the same time. So my name is Anna Maya. I work for I Live as the Youth Projects. I'm the family advocate coordinator for the Family Resource Center. And yes, next Thursday is our food distribution, and like Lori said, we'll be distributing diapers. So if anybody needs any assistance, please call us to set up an appointment. We continue doing the services that we do with CalFresh Medi-Cal applications for rental assistance for the city of Goleta right now. And, unemployment verifications and certifications, applying for housing. We continue doing all the wonderful work that we do, myself and Asusana. So thank you for having me here. And it's nice to be here again. I'm sorry it didn't work out before because of food distribution, but now I'm trying to make our meetings. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Anna. Thank you for all the incredible work that you guys are doing. It's relentless, and it's incredible to have big hearts behind this also for people to feel so taken care of. Next is Omari.
Hello, everyone. Omari Pryor, UCSB's Alcohol and Drug Program. I did have one quick announcement. Our Life of the Party peer educators are promoting our Just Call 911 informational campaign again. So if anyone is interested in receiving notifications, which will include videos, flyers, posters, and eventually material distribution, I'm going to put my name and contact and Just Call 911 in the chat. Please feel free to contact me. We'd love to get this the widest distribution as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Omari. I'm wondering if you just can explain, like for a second, what the premise of Just Call 911 is for those that might not know about the program.
Absolutely. The Just Call 911 program/campaign is just information to provide safety in regards to alcohol and opioid overdose, and also to introduce naloxone to people who are unaware of it, and to provide all the safety information to keep people safe and to make the best decisions possible, and to reduce the stigma against calling 911 in fear of having reprisals against them in order to save lives.
Thank you very much for explaining. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Go for it.
Just a quick addition. Thank you, Omari. Thanks for that. And a grateful shout out to Lisa Osborne at KCSB and her staff. They did an interview with our Life of the Party students and are also doing some PSA announcements. So we really appreciate all that support. One of the main things about the Just Call campaign is really trying to help students understand, as Omari said, that there will not be any actions taken against them for making the call on behalf of somebody's safety. So in the world, there exists a Good Samaritan policy, which basically says the same thing from a legal perspective. On the university side, there is a protocol within the Student Code of Conduct called the Responsible Action Protocol. And there again, the university is making sure that students are aware that if they make a call on behalf of someone's safety, that they will not get into trouble. There may be a response, there may be an opportunity for some kind of an educational referral for a student for their own safety and the safety of those around them. But we are trying to make it clear to students that making a call will may result in saving someone's life, and that's the more important decision-making factor. So thanks to all of you for any ways you can help us get this information out there. KYT did a very nice quick interview with our students as well last week, which we were really grateful for. So thanks.
Thank you guys for that really important program update. The co-op, as always, we're happy to use our Insta to pass forward through our story. So if there's Life of the Party posts coming through this, we'll share on our story as much as we can. This is such critical stuff for students on the call. This has been a conversation ongoing through Ivcn for several years. We've had, bursts of things happen in Isla Vista that lead to terrible outcomes because non-students also don't understand that you should make that call. And so I think the more we talk about this, the better. And hopefully to not have, some of the terrible outcomes that have happened in years past because people just didn't know what their rights were and able to help. So thank you. Next update or intro comes from Rodney.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rodney Gould, and I'm the Isla Vista Community Advisor in normal times stationed out of the Pardall Center. I just wanted to make you aware that CAUSEWeb, the Council on Student Wellbeing, is holding online yoga, Pilates, and one other class, and HIIT training classes. And you can go to the website and you can sign up. You just need to complete a liability waiver form, and those classes are open to everybody. They're online. And then just wanted to let you know that the Isla Vista Tenants Union is still offering legal advice surrounding landlord-tenant issues that is also free of charge to the entire community. That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Rodney. Those were fun updates. Who's next? Spencer, you are next.
Hi, everyone. Spencer Brandt, the president of the Isla Vista CSD. No announcements other than thanks to everyone who joined us last night for our informational hearing about the Isla Vista Master Plan. If you weren't able to join, there is a recording of the meeting available if you want to learn more. So I'll put that in the chat.
Spencer. Sorry that I couldn't be at the meeting. I had to keep working, but I'll actually look forward to the recording. It's cool that the master plan's coming around. I was on the original project area committee for redevelopment in like 2000. Jay might remember this. I don't remember what year that was, but it's neat that it's like coming back to this generation now. Tori, you're up.
Hi everybody, Tori Saunders. I'm representing UCSB Police Department. I'm here with my partner Gary. We don't have many updates, one being that we are hiring. So we are currently looking for people who would like to apply to be new police officers. So if you know anybody in town or you have a family member or a friend who you think would be an awesome police officer, please send them our way. We are doing that hiring process now. And we had to cancel our St. George Youth Center bike ride yesterday due to the torrential downfall. I would rather do cycling with the cops than kayaking with the cops on bikes. So we're hoping to reschedule for next Wednesday or weather permitting, maybe the Wednesday after, but we had to cancel, unfortunately. So let us know if you have any questions. Also, Justin Schroeder is not here. If you have any questions specifically for him, you can email him or let me know and I can get the message to him as well. So he wanted me to let you all know.
Thanks, Tori. I thought Vivi was, Viviana, are you on the call or did we lose you?
Yes.
Oh, you're here. Good, there you are.
Yes.
Hello, it's your turn.
Viviana Marzano, Civic and Community Engagement at UCSB. Just want to mention that COVID testing continues in Ivy Theater, Fridays and Saturdays from 12 to 5. And they have been averaging between 550, 600 people per weekend.
Thanks, Vivi. And Yasmin, you are next.
Hi, everyone. Yasmin from ASEVPLA.
Perfect. Did I miss anybody for intros? Did anybody call a little late? Oh, Gary, I see that you're on now. Did you want to do an intro?
Thanks, Melissa. I'm sorry I'm running a little bit late today. Gary Gaston, UCSB Police Department Community Outreach. I think this is a great panel, just in follow up in what Jackie and Omari were talking about. I'm in currently process of shooting a short video regarding the Good Samaritan laws, and I'm meeting with a gentleman named Rob Murphy of the J. Jim Foundation, who recently lost his daughter because the people she was partying with did not call, and his daughter passed away because they didn't call. So I saw his news channel thing, and then I met him out in Santa Barbara, and we started talking, and he is going to do a short video for the purpose of training. So I will be reaching out to Jackie and Omari about that. I'd like to get some information from you as well, and hope that could also maybe help us out with some getting it out to the community, I guess, and maybe you as well, Lisa. That's great. I'm glad that y'all are doing that. This is a very under talked about subject, so I appreciate this group looking into that to help others to prevent deaths that didn't have to happen. Then the other thing is to follow up what Tori is saying. This is a great group to bounce this off of as well. If you know of a conscientious person that might do well in our field, and you have someone you'd like to see in law enforcement, please don't hesitate. We put the email in the chat. We'd love to talk with them. If they have questions, I'm happy to talk with them. And there's a lot of mysteries about what we do if you don't talk to anyone first person. So we're here to take away some of those mysteries and talk with them about it. And it's a great community to work in. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Gary. I think, did anybody get missed in the introductions? This is a great group gathering, by the way. Okay.
Melissa, can I just ask a quick question? There was a post that Alex Young put in the chat about IVTU running a grant, COVID-19 grant. I'm making the assumption that's for students who are living in Isla Vista, because we're aware there are a lot of students who are actually living at home and taking care of family members who might be in need of such support, but I'm assuming since it's IVTU, it's only for students living in Isla Vista. Is
that is actually not true. We can help any undergraduate UCSB student. So even if you aren't currently residing in Isla Vista, if you're an undergraduate student and you're home and you are in isolation or quarantine, then you can apply for the grant.
Wonderful. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Great. That was awesome. A good clarifying question, and what an awesome program that IVTU is bottomlining. And I see Kristen has her hand up.
I'm sorry, I'm so obnoxiously interrupting. I just wondered, there's so many, I'm looking at this chat and there's so many great announcements, and I'm just wondering, is there any one place where these announcements go after this meeting for follow-up to look at again?
In theory, your amazing facilitator is supposed to be copying and pasting the chat and moving it into an email, and I didn't do it last week because of tired, but I will commit to doing that for this chat and this meeting. And I think that there's other folks on this call that heard that ask, and that will help keep us doing that. So thank you for saying that. Yes. And having it present like that will make it even more sure to happen, because we want to be following up. There's a lot of great nuggets in this chat today. Thank you for that, Christian. Okay, so then without further ado, we will jump into our agenda as best we do, and that starts with a 3rd District report. So I will let 3rd District take it away.
Joan, do you want to start with both the February 23rd meeting and then the commercial eviction action the board just took, and then I'll follow up with COVID stuff?
Yeah, we'll finish with COVID. So let me first start with, I've talked before about KPMG as a consultant that's looking at various county departments and trying to determine how they can operate better. And yesterday, Tuesday rather, the report came from probation and the district attorney. So next week will be the sheriff. And this is really, really important for those who are concerned about criminal justice issues. And one matter that came up, I just wanted to flag this for Jeff. We, since COVID, from the jail to alternative programming, and we don't have any stuff in place.
Sorry, Joan, can I
What's happened to them? Has this been successful? Has it worked?
Is anybody else having
You're
trouble
not hearing me.
Joan?
Joan, yeah,
okay.
you're cutting in and out, Joan.
Is my
your video's off? Do you want to just call into the number and I can just do
that's
the COVID
bad.
right
I'm gonna sign in on my. I'm gonna come on my phone.
Okay, I'll do a COVID stuff right now.
Thank you guys.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, it's like the internet connectivity problems are hopscotching around the universe of Santa Barbara County right now. I was good yesterday. It's terrible today for me. So if you go to the county's dashboard, all the stuff is housed in ArcGIS, which is pretty cool. The Isla Vista case rate has been exponentially climbing. And so that's very worrisome. One of the things our office has been hearing about is, there's a sense that in IV, and perhaps some of you all would agree or could agree, that there's just no consequences for people who keep partying. And so UCSB, the county, City College, we've been working on this. We convened another, and some CSD folks, we convened another meeting yesterday, and there are consequences being handed out for repeat behavior. Law enforcement, and they can talk about this if they want, they have been long on education and short on issuing citations and whatnot, and that's pretty consistent just in our county throughout the state. But they have issued citations for partying behavior in Isla Vista. One thing I thought was pretty interesting that I hadn't quite thought about was that in terms of misdemeanors, the courts are all backed up. Courts are having a hard time convening in person. There are 2,800 pending misdemeanor cases with our DA's office right now. And that's for countywide for all, that's not just IV or, for health officer order defiance, that's for all misdemeanors. So some of those are from April. So the DA's office is going through. So there are consequences just in terms of the court system for the more severe stuff. There is a backup. UCSB has a process. Many students have gone through their process. Over 100 have gotten a personal call from a dean based on reported behavior. Some have had to go through an adjudicated process with deans. UCSB has to adhere to really rigid, and City College as well, student privacy concerns and laws and whatnot. So it's hard to really put those stories or narratives out there. So I just wanted to mention it here on this call. So a number of us are getting together to come up with talking about, the context and the consequences to our community of the behavior and what legal ramifications and or educational ramifications there can be. All the data that the sheriff's foot patrol have collected and UCSB has collected indicate that actually there's very few, like literally like a handful of residences that are repeat offenders. And I want you to know that when UCSB has gotten a report of a party, if there's an address attached to that, and the county sheriffs as well, there's online websites. Sergeant Rich Brittingham has gone in the following days from that. Usually it's a Friday or Saturday. He'll go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. He'll knock on the door and make contact with the residents and have a conversation and let them know about the health officer ordinance. And he has had overwhelmingly really positive experiences with students. And I think that has helped minimize repeat offenders. But as someone from UCSB pointed out, there are a lot of addresses in IV, right? So it's good that we haven't had repeat offenders, but we're still seeing maskless gatherings. And we understand that there is real frustration among students feeling like there's nothing being done about it or no consequences. So I wanted to mention that, and keep testing. Those testing sites are still on campus and NIV, and just wear a mask. But I know that this is the choir for that, so I don't need to beat that horse. Are there any questions about anything COVID related that I can answer, or can I turn it over to Joan to finish her update? Looks like she's on the phone. Oh, there she is.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Sorry, yeah. I've had internet trouble all day today. So let's see, just to add, I saw in the New York Times today that over the past 3 weeks, nationwide, cases are down 35%. And so we were the surge on the surge, Thanksgiving and then Christmas, New Year's. It looks nationwide like we're starting to come out of it. And both because we may have more people with immunity and we may have more people actually complying with these orders. So it's really important. We're now in a race to see, can we keep the numbers down? California isn't as good as the nation as a whole. Santa Barbara our numbers are trending down, but we're at the bottom of the purple, not the top where we were before. So it's really important in this race between vaccine and COVID to keep all the practices in place. And we're working on the health officer order because right now it says that gatherings of 3 households. In Isla Vista, that could be a lot of people. So we may revise that health officer order if we can to limit it to a number, 15 or 20 or something. So it's not such a large number. And those are outside gatherings. So I just wanted to go back. I'm not sure how much I was able to get through, but we're looking at county departments and now looking at public safety. And an interesting research issue came up that I'll mention because Jeff is on the phone. Since the inception of COVID, we've diverted over 1,000 people from the jail to other programs, and we've brought our jail population way down. And the question is, how successful have the diversion programs been? What has happened to these 1,000 people? And we at the county there was a sense in the board that we should dedicate some funding to look at this, but I'm not sure that county researchers necessarily have the skills that are at UCSB with to do statistically significant analysis of some of this. So I flagged that for you as a possibility. The other issue that came before the board is we're going to have a workshop on homeless on February 23rd. That may be of great interest here. We're looking at 2 things. First is there's a phase 2 of a homeless plan that's been in the works for quite some time. And so we'll review that. But in addition, we've had a lot more issues surrounding unsheltered populations in our county, related to fire, related to health, related to people in vehicles on trails and trailheads and parks near the mountains, as well as Santa Ynez River and IV. So it's a workshop-y format without any action to come out of it, but just we've got a bigger problem in dealing with this. We need to think about it in new ways. So when we do the phase 3, some of the lessons or issues that we have come to this point, given the experiments we've had the next phase. So I think that would be of a lot of interest to people here. The last thing is just I think Gina mentioned that we extended the eviction thresholds. It sounds pretty technical, but that's really our mechanism for reducing GHG emissions. In this case, it was from the built environment, not stationary industrial sources, but housing development. It's of note that the county has to build about 30,000 new units. That's a directive from the state, and how that's going to be allocated and how that's actually going to be built over the next 8 years is a real question. But that we want to do it in a way that reduces greenhouse emissions to the extent that we possibly can. So we have interim threshold that'll be coming back again in the climate action plan. So for those of you who are really interested in climate change issues, this is something to be fun. Just contact our office. We're eager to have advocates working hard. It's clear there's going to be a division on the board on some of these issues. So I think that's it, unless anybody has any questions.
Diana, I see your hand up.
Oh, go on.
I'm sorry, Joan, I don't know if I missed it, but I think at the very beginning, before you were cut off, you were mentioning some criminal justice reform reports that were coming out, and I didn't quite hear what
Yes.
you said about that.
Sure. Okay, thanks. I don't know where I got cut off. I appreciate that. The county is having an outside consultant look at all our departments to see how we can work more effectively and efficiently. We're now at the public safety, and we reviewed probation and the DA. And for all the issues that have arisen in our racial reckoning, criminal justice is really critical. And in our county, we're focusing on all of it, but focusing especially on trying to reduce the jail population. And so these departments are key. You know, who gets arrested is the sheriff or the police. Who gets charged and with what is the DA, and then how they actually, you know, if they can go into diversion, then or probation oversees that. So these are really important departments, and we've had 2 of them, and the sheriff is coming up next week. So for people who are interested in that, surprisingly, we haven't had a lot of public engagement in this process. And it's really where the rubber meets the road, where you have an opportunity to identify issues, build on what the consultant said, and then the board can give direction to departments. And this is now coming back to the budget cycle. So it's in preparation for, you know, what we actually fund for the next fiscal year.
Thank you so much for that.
So thank you for asking.
Can I add in the chat? I added what I thought was a really cool article about UC San Diego. In COVID, the campus launched an ambassador team to help with peer-to-peer COVID compliance, and it's really, really successful. They actually have a lot more students rehoused on campus than UCSB does, and their outbreak rates are like tremendously low. So that's something too. Working with Kirsten, it sounds like UCSB may be working on thinking of piloting something like that. I don't want to get ahead of UCSB, but that is something we're really interested in. And certainly Joan has been urging me to convene in terms of scheduling an ambassador type Isla Vista, either a block by block or neighborhood watch or something like that program, so that Isla Vistans can take care of each other beyond COVID and compliance with COVID, but just moving forward. So I'm hoping that all is a bridge segue into moving that vision forward. But it's an article worth reading, I think.
Yeah, and one quick thing, we no longer use the term neighborhood watch, but shared safety.
Yeah.
So Gina, this is Margaret. I just jumped on, and we met with San Diego. I see Kim on here, and others joined me meeting with UC San Diego to talk about that program, and we're getting that going with the health and wellness peers. But their model, importantly for you to understand, their model is friendly compliance. We also talked about this with Deanna on Monday when she told us about some of the beloved community efforts. So we're going to be working together on this. But it's really about enforcing the good practices of the students who are doing the right things, and then having information and COVID kits and things available for students. And I know Melissa knows about this, and I want to thank her for the partnership, because this is going to be near the food co-op. So, so we'll be doing that.
Thank you guys. The article is really interesting. I just actually popped it up and started reading it. I had a question. Do we know if the ongoing party houses are UCSB students? Has it been determined that they are coming from UCSB directly versus
one of the most egregious one that I know of is 100% UCSB students. But other reports that I've seen from law enforcement, it about pans out to what we think are the proportions of how many SBCC students and UCSB students live in IB. Like, there's not a glaring.
Yeah, it's a mix, but this one house that we think the property owner is going to take some action on now is our UCSB students and alum and some current students.
Interesting. fascinating. I will say, you know, it's tricky sitting here facilitating, also running a business in Ivy that is still seeing many hundreds of customers a day, and trying to honor our Cal OSHA compliance and keep our workers safe, knowing that the minute they leave work, we can't really do much besides hope that they are sticking with the protocols. Yeah, it's very stressful. I'm not gonna lie. Like you guys can probably see this. It's ongoing exhaustion for us out here. To our workforce, we have 35 employees right now, and I think 25 of them are under the age of 24. I have 3 high school students. I have college students. We've had COVID in the co-op. It's very. We have compliance with people coming in. Generally, people are pretty nice. I'm dealing with some anti-mask stuff still, not students, but outside student stuff. And it is so much to keep up with. So we're grateful for this level of support coming from the county, coming from AS, coming from health and wellness, like whatever element, and however we can, as like a little hub in Ivy, be a resource. Sorry. Please let us know how we can share more on our socials, like whatever we need to do to help get this pattern going about positive modeling or whatever we need to do. Thank you guys for that. Any other questions for 3rd District? Okay, we kind of morphed into the next item, which is just general COVID-19 update. So I don't know if anybody has other COVID stuff they would like to talk about that wasn't already brought up. Sorry, intercom behind me. Okay. I don't see any hands, and I don't see anybody yearning to talk about more COVID stuff, so we can leave that there. And we'll just keep, this is like our ongoing agenda topic, obviously. In terms of just the shelter in place being lifted, I'll just say for grocery stores, for us, we might increase our population a little bit. We are still deciding. If you are tired of standing in line at the co-op, don't shop after 4 p.m. Come during the day. There's no customers here during the day, hardly at all. Okay. Next update would be from Associated Students, if we have one.
Hi everyone, a few quick updates. We were able to order about 4,900 masks, and they are arriving in the next 2 weeks, I believe. And so we'll make sure to deliver those to the co-op again once Pardal Center receives all of them. Also, the AS COVID-19 Task Force is reopening applications for funding individual undergrad students and like COVID-19 projects during weeks 5 through 7. So also for any students on the call or orgs, just look out for the application for that. And like Alex mentioned, the IBTU grant is also open now as well. That's pretty much it for AS related work.
I have a question. Oh, Jana, go for it.
And I just wanted to add to what Yasmin just said, just to note that the COVID-19 task force, the AS COVID-19 task force, is providing funding, if requested, to organizations that are not student orgs. So if you're doing a COVID-related effort, you can certainly submit a proposal to that group for some funding.
I have a question, and it might be for Margaret or for Diana or really anybody at UCSB. I'm feeling overwhelmed by all the incredible programs that are upcoming and all these cool things being offered and all the benefits that are being presented towards students. Is there a consolidated page or a resource listing coming together that would merge all of the efforts into one document, which I know is probably always my question, is how to kind of get it from everywhere to like one place so we can also help share out some of this stuff? Is that something happening?
Well, I didn't know if Deanna, if the AS still does the calendar, but the other thing is Shoreline, which there is a way to give non-USB members a link to Shoreline, which is the place where we direct students for a compilation of events and activities.
And I would just
I'm also wanted to mention that there's the well-being website, which may not necessarily at this point have all the COVID related, but I wonder if that's a place that could also, that's just a website, wellbeing.sa.ucsb.edu, and it has all the available resources. So it might be a place to post a link to particular COVID-related resources, or people could add to that somehow. I think it's Charlene who oversees that. Okay, so maybe if it's helpful, I can ask Charlene the best way for people to perhaps submit things to her, and maybe there can just be a page of resources that continues to build, if that's helpful.
Yeah, it might be best. Well, it depends, Melissa, which things you're looking for, because there is a COVID page for UCSB. And that now has vaccination information. It had all the testing information and the other resources. The well-being page, we were trying to keep pretty clean in terms of just it has the basic needs and mental health resources and alcohol drug program and those things on it. And then Shoreline has events and activities, kinds of things.
I would also note that we are working to create a page of UCIV resources as well within Associated Students' website. But I think to your point, and I know it's been brought up within many different spaces before, that probably a conversation would be really good amongst kind of many different departments and organizations to make sure that that information is being held more concretely, centralized in one place. I also know that the IVCSD has a really good resource page as well that is COVID resources. But I do think that it would be great to figure out a better way for all this to be shared. And I also think that the Ivy Community Network Facebook page in general would always welcome you all to post those things onto that page as well.
Thank you guys for all of that. Oh, Lisa, go for it.
Could I suggest, maybe it's there, but I haven't seen it, a dashboard where we could see the case numbers for UCSB students. UCSD has that, and Cal Poly has it, and we find it really helpful.
Yeah, I don't know if Kirsten wants to say something. We keep bringing up the dashboard and there's some pushback on the dashboard, but I don't know if you want to add anything on that point.
The only thing what we keep on track on campus employees that have had COVID, so our positivity rate. We don't track students unless they are on campus. So we don't track, we don't post it because that's really public health numbers. So we don't want to have some numbers on our website and then public health has some numbers on their website. So we just defer to the public health website for Isla Vista numbers.
Because when Margaret sent out an email a couple of weekends ago, you had stated some numbers, and I think it was like maybe 73 local numbers, like over a couple of days, and the county dashboard didn't reflect those same numbers. So it's
that's one of the reasons why there's resistance to the dashboard, because the county is usually, we share our test results with the county, so they can be a couple of days behind what we have for our population. So yes, that last email that we sent out shared some numbers that we had just from the couple of days preceding that announcement because it had gone so high. But that's one of the complications about that.
The other thing I'll mention is that from a practical standpoint, UCSB had very, very, very few students on campus. They moved in 1,000 a couple weekends ago. UC San Diego's had thousands more students on campus. So they have,
yeah, 10,000. They have 10,000.
So that's why they could post. But yeah, UCSB just hasn't even had an opportunity to post if they wanted to.
All right, thanks for that. That was really helpful.
As a question to follow up on that, I'm thinking just about, we all know we've got a pretty big jobs housing imbalance here on the South Coast. Do we think that there are workers that work at UCSB that aren't being reflected in our numbers that public health posts, despite them spending a lot of time in the community?
Any of the workers that are coming to campus are being tested, so those are reflected in our numbers. The positive cases among our staff have been pretty low, very low, actually.
Okay, but you're saying that UCSB's numbers aren't being published?
No, we have to share everything with the county. The county can be a couple of days behind what Kirsten and I hear from the testing team, but all of our numbers do get reported to the county. It's just the lag time in the county getting caught up. But all of our any employee coming to campus, unless somebody doesn't tell us, which they're not supposed to do, their test results are reflected in our numbers and our numbers are reported to the county. Did I say
The
that?
numbers are reported, but I believe when you register, and maybe UCSB is different with the tests they run for their staff. You sign up for a test, it's based on your home address, if that's what you use to register for your test. It's not necessarily the result of your COVID test is not attributed to if you work and live in a different area.
Well, Gina, that's if they went to a county testing site. So our employees who are coming to campus are supposed to be using our campus testing sites so that we're capturing accurate numbers for our population. So we did know at the beginning, for example, that some students were purposefully going for like to Ventura and then giving a home address. So we didn't know. But now that our testing is pretty well established, we're getting very good usage rates. And we are getting anybody who's coming to campus, student, faculty, or staff has to be tested. All the students in our residence halls or married and family housing, grad students, everybody is supposed to be tested regularly, and we get all those results.
So if a student's living in Isla Vista, they'll definitely be attributed to Isla Vista. It wouldn't be attributed to their home address if they're registered with the school with their home address, you know, where their family lives.
We're getting our students who are being tested through our testing site, we're getting their results. It would only be if a UCSB student purposefully drove north or south to a different testing site and gave a home address that we wouldn't have it.
So then your results with the students, those would be attributed to Isla Vista?
Well, on campus students or Isla Vista, and we know which is which.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Thank you guys for all of that. We have about 8 minutes left, and I just wanted to bring it back to why I actually asked the question in the first place, and I'm really happy for all of this dialogue. I was on a task, I'm on the UC Food Security Task Force, and it's been very interesting to sit on task force calls and to hear lots of student feedback about maybe what students don't realize that they have access to already, or all of the things that all of y'all incredible workers of UCSB have been putting together so that there are these incredible programs that can be accessed. Even the scope of what we just talked about around testing and trying to create clear pathways of information. It's, for me, sitting out here in IV, sometimes what I'm thinking is there's just not enough clarity for a student to understand how much there is available to them, how much is happening behind the scenes to support them, how much work is going into create these safe spaces so that students can come back to campus, even come to live in housing. I don't know what the answer is. Obviously, it's not a one page that talks about all of the things. Maybe it is something like that, but when there's not a clear place to get the information or to even see what all these benefits are between AS and wellness and all of the entities offering things, it can start to feel like it's disparate and that there's not things being available. And so that's just kind of my strange community lens on all of this, is what is the best way that we can help support some consolidation so that we can help students, particularly maybe those that don't understand how serious this is, see how much work is happening behind the scenes, not to just create like a serious structure, but that there's support and resources and there's humans behind all of this. I don't know if that made sense, but it's like kind of my ongoing nugget that I'm getting from these different meetings that I'm sitting in, and I want to support everybody on this call and in every aspect of UCSB and student government that are doing all this work to make sure that the resources are being understood.
Yeah, we agree with you. We're trying to solve this all the time. And actually, to go back to what Jackie said, the best, most clear site in terms of resources, basic needs, mental health, financial crisis team is the well-being at UCSB.edu. Okay. That's the best place.
Awesome.
And to add on to that, we're actually building up on that website more on the COVID resources, and this is kind of starting to put things in. So actually today's meeting is super helpful to gather some of these additional things. And so as that kind of resource area within well-being starts to grow just a little bit, then we'll be able to maybe put some of these resources in and see where they might make most sense amongst the different websites that Margaret mentioned.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. And Lori actually put a great point in the chat also, which I think is a question that is probably very difficult to answer. It's hard to know how much has to come from the entity. I don't know, but it was how I feel.
Melissa, if we're just getting Zoom bombed, if you want to make me a host, I can remove that person.
I'm not a host. Jonathan.
I'll take care of it. I got it.
Thank you. I know not of the Zoom technology on that level. Thank you. And welcome to the jungle, because it feels like we're kind of in it. Yes, what Lori put on here is accurate. It's very hard to know the giving and taking in of information, which end is the correct end for the giving or receiving. So I'm just appreciative that there's so many hearts and minds thinking about ways to clarify some of this, and maybe that will help highlight the intention behind this, and then create more importance for some of the student community that is still not totally seeing that there's a resource connection. Maybe it's dollar per student. Maybe every student needs to know how much dollar per student is actually being spent to handle COVID. I don't know. Anyway, anything else around AS, COVID, UCSB? I acknowledge that I took a bunch of that time. I'm sorry. Diana.
The other thing I wanted to add is that certainly in terms of the funding opportunities, I know that oftentimes folks in the community don't know about places where they can access some funding from associated students in particular. So I do want to bring that back for one of our agenda items to just give a little bit of an overview. And maybe part of this is just kind of taking these things one at a time and just discussing the resources that we have and kind of sharing those out and spotlighting them.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. And for any future Ivcn, please email us, because then we can document things onto the agenda, and then it might be easier for people to note as well. Okay, we have like about 5 minutes left, and I have IVCSD. I'm not sure if you guys have any formal updates that you wanted to do. Spencer?
Hey, Melissa. Yeah, thanks, everyone. I'll keep it brief. I think I mentioned earlier, we had a good hearing yesterday about planning, and I know a number of you joined us. So if you want to watch the recording of that, you can click on the link that I put in the chat. And we're going to have a hearing at a future regular meeting where we're going to talk about next steps. So we'll hope to see you there for that. And additionally, quick plug, I know I'm looking out my window and it's pretty rainy, it's pretty windy. There's a lot potential debris and stuff, more trash around the community because of that. So just a reminder, you can download our app, the C-Click Fix app. This is a really cool way that you can snap a picture of problems in the community, everything from downed tree branches, a couch on the sidewalk, graffiti, and other issues. Streetlights that are out, take a picture of it and submit the request, and our Ivy Beautiful team will go out there and take care of it. Ivy Beautiful is a partnership with AmeriCorps Home for Good in Santa Barbara County. And our employees are all recently people who have recently experienced homelessness or recent veterans. So we're really thankful for that partnership, and they've got a lot of energy and are looking to grow the program and get more native users from our Ivy community. So would definitely encourage you to download that app.
Thank you, Spencer. If you want to pop it in the chat, I have the whole chat copied, so I'll promise to send this out afterwards, and I can add that in as well. And then if we want to wrap up, if there's any updates from law enforcement that are still on the call, I don't know if there are any. You already gave a lot of updates, so it might be enough.
I'm here. I do have a quick one.
Okay, yeah, great.
I noticed on the itinerary with Black Lives Matters and others.
Yes.
The new chief that's been here, we've been talking a bit about how to do more racial profiling and racial cultural diversity training. And so a lot of us, I would say probably about half of us at this point, have started taking classes through the UCLA extension, which are online classes right now due to the COVID provisions. But some of the topics that we're discussing is just stuff like cultural diversity, cultural proficiency training, racial profiling, and then use of force de-escalation. They're incorporating mental health issues with that for crisis response, and then implicit bias and some other topics that are kind of all around. And I've also noticed a change in the last year in how these classes are being taught, and that they're starting to integrate the consideration of different culture and de-escalation tactics and stuff like that. But I thought that might be somewhat informative to this panel.
Yeah, thank you for that update. And I'm not sure if for a future meeting, if we want to, make sure that there is some actual agenda time left over. If you guys want to do more of a deeper conversation about some of that work as it lands more, as the new chief, as the new chief also gets more, landed in his position. So that's an ongoing option for sure.
Yeah, and again, he will be in attendance at some point. I know he's got so much on his table right now. I'll say that esoterically and also physically, he does have a lot on his table. I see those and stuff. So I know it is his aspiration to come to the meeting and spend a little more time and see what this group does and stuff. So that'll probably be in the next couple to come. He'll probably be online.
Thank you for that. Well, yeah, this will still be a bi-weekly meeting. We're going to keep up with this format. It seems like it's working for everybody. But again, if you have things that you would like to be discussed that don't fall into our usual structure, please just shoot an email. It's as you see, it's a pretty loose agenda. We try to stick with topics, but we're here of, by, and for this community. And so if there's things that are not being discussed that you want to hear, just shoot us an email. And Lori has put a wonderful update in the chat about Ivy Youth Project and some of their education and information that they're doing. Also addressing some of the food insecurity that is an ongoing real challenge in the community. And a big thank you to everybody doing hands-on services right now, including doing food support. It's funny sitting in a grocery store all day with this because we're surrounded by so much food, while also knowing how many people don't get to have that access. So thank you all. Is there anything that we want to finish off in the last couple of minutes here that wasn't talked about in the meeting? I see people dropping off, so. Okay. Well, with that, we will end. It's a beautiful, dreary day. Enjoy being warm and dry wherever you are. And yes, we have a pop tent up for your grocery packing needs, so you will stay dry in front of the co-op. Everybody have a really nice day, and thank you for calling, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks so much. Bye.